Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Scheer, and I'm the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password, or check on our website, www.cslpv.org, under the weekly talk section. Today is Sunday, December 1st, 2024. So welcome to a new month and a new theme, Sticking the Landing. The topic for today is standing on solid air. The suggested book for reading this month is Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And so at this time, as I always do, I'd like to truly welcome everyone, including those that are new to our center here in Puerto Vallarta and new to our teaching. Whether you are on the live Zoom call today or watching the replay at a later time. Here we teach a philosophy and we honor all faith traditions. So whatever path you are on, please know that it is the right one to you, the right one for you. And please know that everyone is welcome here. We value each and every one of you. So as I mentioned, we teach a philosophy called the Science of Mind, which is based on new thought and ancient wisdom. And we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. And we honor diversity in all aspects. When Dr. Ernest Holmes founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to create the Science of Mind. And when asked for a concise definition of this teaching, he replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. So each week we offer an inspirational message. And I mentioned before that we will restart having our in-person meetings starting in December. However, the first 2 weeks of December, we have parades that close down the streets. So it will be quite a challenge for everyone, including myself, to even get down to the location where we meet. So unfortunately, that is going to be postponed for 2 weeks. So not next week, but the week after, the third Sunday in December. And now, as we also do each week, let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here each week, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this by means of our vision, creating the life you desire. And this is supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And more on all of these can be found under their own drop-down column on our website. So life isn't as solid as we're conditioned to believe it is. Life is a constant flow, but we get to surf on it and even direct that flow in our lives. You'll notice that at the end of a gymnastics performance, after all the spins, leaps, and twirls, the gymnast must land upright on their feet. And at the end of this year, having explored a grand rising, we land on our feet, grounded in timeless principles. We'll use both the elements, air, fire, water, earth, and light, as well as the flow of consciousness, thought, feeling, form, wisdom, spirit, to wrap up this month and this year in preparation for 2025. And you'll recall that everything is created twice, first in our mind and then in actual form. Our thinking and our beliefs have a powerful influence on what we manifest in our lives. Emma Curtis Hopkins declared that there is no matter as her second denial. While we might disagree based on today's scientific wisdom, we do recognize that matter is an emanation of spirit. The quantum physicist will tell us that things are nowhere near as solid as we perceive them to be. And what we call thought and form are both being shaped by conscious expectations and perception. Thus, we begin with the core beliefs of our science of mind teaching as the solid air, which is thought, upon which we stand. Eckhart Tolle said this: "In the stillness of your presence, you can feel your own formless and timeless reality as the unmanifested life that animates your physical form. You can then feel the same life deep within every other human and every other creature. You look beyond the veil of form and separation. This is the realization of oneness. This is love." But since the infinite oneness is all there is, layered in the three aspects of mind, law, and form, our only work is to increase our understanding of and alignment with that oneness. It's not here to serve our ego-based needs. We are here to serve its grand flow. And to do so, we must stand on the solidity of beliefs in alignment with the highest truth that we can discern. Ernest Holmes summarized his ideas of this truth in his "What I Believe" statement, first published in the 1927 Science of Mind magazine in their first issue and in subsequent issues. "In our lives, everything flows from our beliefs, whether they are helpful or harmful. As we align our individual minds with the one mind, the law supports the flow of that life energy into form in a multitude ways in our individual lives." Ernest Holmes wrote this: "The new age demands that the fear and superstition surrounding religious convictions be removed, and that the truth, plain, simple, and direct, be presented that people may learn to live now, in the present, with the assurance that the eternal God is their refuge." So first, our first talking point for today is the first and foundational belief on which our whole teaching stands, which is: we believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. And the name, of course, is unimportant. Whatever name works for you to convey in your mind that infinite presence is the name that you should use. And that name may change over time as our understanding and relationship with the infinite changes. The first thing to realize is that there is only one oneness. This oneness shows up in the form of lots of multiplicity, but there is still always and only one. You'll notice that sometimes I'll use the term to describe the one as God. And this is actually something fairly new for me. In my growing up years, I was taught differently. And the term God was something that was feared and a lot of negative connotations. And so I wouldn't use it. But as I've stated, our energy and our thoughts change over time as our consciousness grows and our beliefs change. And so I do have a better comfort in using the term God. But if it offends you, please change that term whenever you hear it to whatever suits you for where you are right now. And as we deepen our awareness of this oneness, we realize that the God of our understanding is within us, and we are within it. No matter the appearance around us, we might invoke feelings based on old beliefs of separation, but we are never separated from that which is closer than even our own breath, closer than our heartbeat. And as we notice our fears and feelings of separation, we have the opportunity to return to that awareness of all as one. In the words of Ernest Holmes, this one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. And so we see the effects of God, but not God itself, just as we see the effect of the wind, but not the wind itself. We learn about nature and the nature of God by observing its creation. Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker wrote this: effective prayer is an acknowledgement of the presence and power of good. It is an acknowledgement of this presence as close to us, and this power is acting in our acceptance. So Ernest then goes on to state that this God incarnates, takes form as people, all people, that there is a nature which he calls soul within each of us that is eternal and forever expanding. And that kingdom of heaven is within us and available for us to experience to the degree that we become aware of it. And that the ultimate goal of life is freedom from discord, and that everyone shall attain this. So God is not some remote principle. Rather, it is the very life we are, personal to all. We like to say God is within us, which is true. And we are also within God. We are always within this life, love, wisdom, power, peace, beauty, and joy that is the divine beingness. And Ernest Holmes reminds us that this experience, or that we experience this to the degree that we become conscious of it. This is a story that Valerie Kaur, in her book, See No Stranger, tells us. 5 centuries ago, Halfway around the world, in the Indian village of Punjab, there lived a young man named Baba Nanak, who was deeply troubled by the violence around him, Hindus and Muslims in turmoil. One day, he disappeared on the bank of the river for 3 days. People thought he was dead, drowned. But Nanak emerged on the third day with a vision of the oneness of humanity and of the world. This vision threw him into a state of ecstatic wonder, and he began singing songs of devotion called shabads, praising the divine within him and around him. Love made him see with new eyes. Everyone around him was a part of him that he did not yet know. I see no stranger, he said. I see no enemy. Nanak taught that all could see this faith, this truth. There is a voice inside each of us that names itself as separate from you, but separationness is an illusion. When we quiet the chatter in our heads through music or meditation, the boundaries begin to disappear. We are part of one another. Joy rushes in. Long after the moment passes, we can choose to remember the truth of our interconnectedness, that we belong to one another. Baba Nanak grew to become the founder of Sikhism. And Ram Dass said this: love holds the universe together. Love is the emotion of connection and merging. Viewed from the soul, this world is a manifestation of love. Love is the glue, the transfer of energy between form and formless, matter and spirit. And so the last third of these statements of belief from Dr. Ernest Holmes helps us to understand how this infinite beingness expresses through and as us. Ernest defines some previous teachers by pointing out that all of us, through our intuition, can be revealers of truth by living in close contact with this divinity. So how do we do that? Well, through meditation and contemplation on the divine nature. Holmes identifies the path of the flow of the creative energy emanating from universal spirit through the universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are constantly surrounded by this creative mind, which, and this is the good news, bad news part, receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. So as a result of this, we believe in healing the sick and shifting conditions through the power of this mind. It's important to note that it's not through the power of our mind, but through aligning and flowing with this universal mind. Since God is life, love, and the rest, it only knows life, love, and the rest. We may believe in the appearances and conditions which have been created by millennia of collective thoughts and aware of the nature of the divine, but those appearances are not real to the infinite oneness. Ralph Waldo Emerson said this: we see the world piece by piece as the sun, the moon, the animal, the tree. But the whole of these shining parts is the soul. From within, a light shines through us and makes us aware that the light is all. So in conclusion, We believe in a God that is good and only good, loving kindness and only loving kindness, eternal givingness and only eternal givingness. And we also believe, therefore, in our own goodness, loving kindness, and givingness, because we are this nature in form. And as we look around, we see the results of the freedom that we have to create. We can use this law in ignorance and superstition, which results in the challenges that we face in the world today. Or we can continue to gain wisdom and understanding, to align with the nature of this infinite presence, to allow ourselves to be the conduits of its nature. And because of millennia of social conditioning, this is not an easy task. Yet it is the task before us as religious scientists, as people who claim to believe in taking a new thought, which we know results in new form. It may seem we stand on wisps of air, of thoughts and words, yet we know that this divine nature is more real than what we tend to call reality, more solid than the appearances around us. And that, as gymnasts on the field of life, we are being called to stick the landing, to land solidly with these beliefs, knowing that this infinite oneness, being all there is, in full support of its nature expressing through and as us. Let us perform. And let your performance, your expression of life, be a 10. And I'll leave you with this quote from Rumi. Don't look for me in a human shape. I am inside your looking. And that leads us to our affirmation for the week. I stand on solid thoughts to co-direct the flow of my life. And now it's time for news and updates at our center. If you're interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we do offer courses via Zoom as well as in person. So connect with me or check our website to find out details. And if you're still looking for the English class that meets your schedule for the practitioner's consciousness first year study, then please let me know so that we can arrange for that online. And let me know if there's any other specific course, a workshop, or a book study even that you would be interested in taking so that we can plan dates for these as well. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for a spiritual mind treatment, please connect with me. And if you would like to become a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this current year, as we do renew annually, or for the upcoming year, then please connect and I'll be sure to send you the application form. Also, if you would like to be on the Board of Trustees for the center here in Puerto Vallarta, please contact me so you can be sent that application form as well. I'd also like to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And you'll find the link to our YouTube channel, for those of you that are not aware, there is a link on our website, www.cslpv.org. And so now it's our time for mindfully giving and the financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. And we bless the financial gifts that you give today. Every amount matters. Donations can be made using PayPal or Tithely through our website. Again, that's www.cslpv.org. And you'll find the donate buttons on both the landing page as well as on the page for the weekly talk replays. Alternatively, if you like to mail in your paper check, and I know currently there is a mail strike in Canada, but there is the option to send it addressed to CSLPV number 403 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y8N1. And now please join me in our offertory affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing this time together. And let's continue practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. So may peace and love be with you. Blessings to all. Namaste.